Modeling can be an intimidating field to break into, but it doesn't have to be. Today, I'm going to share some tips on how I broke into the modeling industry without any experience. I didn't know much about the industry. I wasn't close to anybody who was a model at the time, and when I started, I also had a full-time job. I'll talk about how to determine what types of modeling jobs you can fit. I'll talk about how to build your portfolio, how to take digitals, how to research agencies, and how to apply to agencies. There are many different types of modeling. There's fashion editorial, there's print and commercial, fitness, parts modeling. There's also fit modeling as well. And before you apply to your agencies, it might be a good idea to understand what type of modeling jobs that you might be able to book. And that's mostly dependent on what your body type is and what interesting facial features you might have. I generally categorize modeling into two types. And I think of it this way because most of the types of modeling that I mentioned generally fall under these two categories. Editorial and high fashion models are generally 5'9" and above, and they might also do runway shows as well. But sometimes they might have more interesting facial features that make them stand out better or make their faces a little bit more memorable. If you're on the shorter end like I am, and you have maybe a girl next door or a boy next door type of vibe or look, you might want to look into commercial or print modeling. Most signed models, though, will get submitted for any jobs that might fit their profile. So for example, I've been submitted for beauty castings, for fitness castings, print. I've also casted for fitness jobs and parts modeling as well. I generally don't get submitted for editorial or runway shows simply because I'm a little bit shorter at 5'6". Before you submit to agencies, you might want to compile an album of photos that can act as your portfolio. This isn't an absolutely necessary part of the process, but having a portfolio definitely helps in getting signed. Sometimes the hard part about building a portfolio is you might not know what a quote-unquote good image for a modeling portfolio might look like. I didn't realize until I entered the industry that, for example, a photographer who shoots graduation photos might not be the best candidate to build out a modeling portfolio simply because the editing vibes are a little bit different. To understand what vibe you want to go for, it might be helpful to look at the Instagram profiles of agencies you're interested in signing with. They often post test shoots of their models on their Instagram page, and you can take a look at who the model is and what photographer they worked with. If you just go down a rabbit hole of what photographers, models from different agencies have worked with, you can kind of get a vibe of what type of images you want to be looking for in your portfolio. The images that you'll want to be looking for on the agency Instagram might usually have a caption that says model name by photographer name. And that means that this image was a part of a test shoot that a model did with a photographer. And they usually tag the model and the photographer, which helps in the research. If you're an absolute beginner, I wouldn't worry too much about this, but it is helpful to know what images agencies have of their models to market their models to clients. To build your portfolio, you can do what's called a TFP, which is short for trade for print. This is a situation where a model and a photographer work together to both get images for their own respective portfolios. If you're in college, for example, maybe you could reach out to a photography club and see if any of the photographers there are interested in collaborating with you. If you're out of college, Instagram is a great tool to reach out to photographers in your area. And if you're meeting a stranger, it's always a good idea to bring a friend. When you do your TFPs, it could be worth bringing different outfit changes so you have multiple types of images. Most beginner portfolios have 3 different outfit changes and usually 3 different backgrounds as well as one headshot. Taking digitals is the most important part to getting signed as a model. Digitals are basic photos that let the agency know what you generally look like as a blank canvas. You'll want to include a full body shot, a headshot, a 3/4 body shot. You'll also want a 3/4 headshot as well, and just to be safe, profiles of both sides. Different agencies ask for different things. Some agencies only ask for the full body shot and the headshot, but also some agencies ask for maybe 4 to 6 images, including the profile shots for your left and right profiles as well. Make sure you take your digitals in a well-lit space with a plain background. You'll want to wear something that shows off the shape of your body, so it might look like a slim fit t-shirt, a tank top with jeans, maybe skinny jeans, and usually heels or heeled boots. If your apartment doesn't have a lot of light, you can take your digitals outside. A lot of people use parking garages primarily for that plain background effect. And just like how there are different types of modeling jobs you can book, there are also different agencies that might specialize in certain model bookings. You should apply to all reputable agencies that you find, but realistically, if you're under 5'9", you might only get interest from certain types of agencies. So doing that research beforehand can definitely help in managing expectations around which agencies may or may not get back to you. One good place to start is going on models.com, where you can search agencies by which city they're located in. In my limited experience, I would say models.com might not encompass all of the agencies out there, but it's a good place to start for the big agencies in your area. And there are usually a number of boutique agencies that might not show up on models.com. So using Google or Instagram might be a good second place to look. For example, I'm always finding new agencies on Instagram that are in my city that I didn't even know of when I was applying to agencies. You might also consider expanding your search beyond your city, because some agencies will sign models in different states as well, since they cover a territory as compared to a specific state. There's a few ways to apply to model agencies, and the most common way is probably through their website. On almost every agency website, there's probably a tab that says Get Scouted or Become a Model. And that's where you'll upload your digitals, you'll upload your measurements. There's usually a message box also, and that's a space for you to share your hobbies, your talents, interests, basically show your personality and what you like to do outside of modeling. The second way to get scouted is by following these agencies' social medias. The majority of agencies out there have hashtags that they use to scout their next models. So if you ever post a picture of yourself on Instagram where you're not wearing too much makeup and you're wearing something that shows off what your body figure looks like, then you can use the scouting hashtag and the agency might see your photo. And I say a simple photo with not too much makeup because most agencies want to see what you look like naturally. So it's not helpful for them if you're wearing heavy makeup because they won't see what your natural facial features look like. On social media, agencies will also advertise their in-person casting calls, and this leads me to my third point of getting scouted. Now that people are more open to in-person meetings, I think in-person castings have kind of come back. If you're interested in signing with a particular agency, I would highly recommend going to their open call. This is an opportunity for you to show off your personality, and this is something that when you apply via online or through a website, it's not as easy to show off your personality. And sometimes your personality is exactly what might get you signed as a model. I haven't ever been to an open call, but I would imagine they would want to take some digitals. So be prepared for that. Maybe bring a pair of heels as well. They might ask you to slate yourself. So that's basically saying your name, your height, and where you're from. So that might look something along the lines of, "Hi, my name is Carly. I am 5'6" and I'm based in New York City." And in the whole application process, if an agency is interested in you, they'll definitely check out your social media. It'll most likely be Instagram. So keep your profile public. If an agency is interested in a model, but their profile is private, I know that sometimes they won't even bother reaching out to contact the model because they can't even see what images a model has. So it's really, really important to keep your profile public, and even better if you can, make sure your portfolio images are on your Instagram. I guess I should preface, if you do want to be a model, you'll want your Instagram handle at least your Instagram handle to be public. Because even if you aren't signed with an agency, you can submit yourself for jobs. But the casting directors that are looking at models to select will also check out your Instagram. So it's super important that you keep your Instagram public because that's like your business card in a sense. I personally have to do much better at managing my Instagram, but in general, if you're a beginner model and you don't have a place to put your portfolio, Instagram is the best way to do it. And just make sure you don't have any weird photos on there, like of you doing illegal things or questionable things. There's a chance you won't get signed your first time applying, but the good news is you can always apply again and again after 3 to 6 months. Just make sure you take new digitals, make sure you're continuing to update your portfolio with test shoots, and make sure you keep your Instagram up to date as well. Agencies are always looking for new faces to sign. Sometimes it's a matter of timing where agencies don't get job requests for someone of your profile, but maybe in 3 to 6 or 12 months, agencies are like constantly getting asked for someone of your profile. And then that's when they decide to sign you. So you never know what's going on behind the scenes. And as you make yourself more marketable and you send in better and better digitals, you also never know what might change. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and you might also enjoy this video where I talk about how I became a model while working in tech.